Badly injured, very frightened people are pouring in. No exaggeration, most of the injuries are bites.
Everyone loves a good zombie apocalypse. And when it comes to mass risings of the undead, there isn't a better place to live it all out than the good old USA in the mid-90s. I'm sure many of you have seen The Walking Dead, and I'm also sure that those of you who have also love the hell out of Zombieland. There's just something a lot more fun and nostalgia-inducing about imagining a post-apocalyptic world void of cell phones and internet and filled with comic books and cannibals. Well, do I have a fucking experience for you? Welcome to Project Zomboid, the best zombie game, dare I say, ever. I hope you weren't looking for a laid-back experience or planning on getting any sleep tonight, because this RuneScape clone is gonna rock your fucking world. Don't be discouraged by the Fallout 2 graphics though. This game has an unmatched level of realism for what it is, and it solves a lot of problems that other games of the genre have. One great example of this aforementioned realism, usually in top-down point-and-click games, you see everything around you in a complete 360-degree field of view. But hey, this is a real apocalypse, no cheating. In Project Zomboid, you can only see within a small radius of wherever your mouse is pointed on screen, in relation to the location of your character. And depending on how tired or nervous you are, or how dark it is, that radius can get smaller. And that's kind of how the rest of this game is. Take whatever you expected when you first saw this game and throw it out the window. Let me reiterate, again, very realistic. There are moments where you're camped out in your little survival home, waiting for meat to thaw so you can finish cooking that stir fry, so you can go watch tonight's news on TV. And then there are those moments where you're counting every shell you load into your shotgun as another wave of zombies marches towards you because the helicopter that's passing by is bringing a horde right to your location. God damn, that was rough. Oh yeah, speaking of which, they are fast, they are strong, sometimes they run, and if you get bit, scratched, or spit on, it's game over. It might not be immediate, but you'll have like 2 in-game weeks of watching your character's health deteriorate before they inevitably die. And you're gonna die a whole lot. I mean, when you start a new playthrough, the game tells you right off the bat, this is how you died. Because there's no way to beat this game. Just like if a zombie apocalypse were to happen in real life, your only goal is to survive. If you do die, it's not all over. The character you are playing as dies and all of your possessions stay on that character. But if you make a new character on that save file, you can go to the location you previously died at and get all your stuff back. Although, this doesn't mean you start exactly from where you left off. All of your skills, all the books you've read, all of the things you've learned. It's like none of it ever happened. And you may be thinking, okay, whatever, that's fine. I'll go turn on the TV and watch all the reruns of Life and Living, read a few magazines, learn about carpentry and foraging, and... Lesson number 1 for surviving Project Zomboid. Time is a big fucking deal. Let's say, when you first started your character, it had only been 1 week since the start of the apocalypse. TV channels were still up, the electricity was still on, there was still running water, and you had a much better chance of finding a car. Now that you've restarted, yes, you may have all of your precious worldly possessions, but you don't have the advantages of civilization that you had when you were getting your skills the first time around. Now, walking the streets at night is much more dangerous with no working street lamps to light the way. Staying hydrated takes a lot more effort because without the godsend that is indoor plumbing, all of your water has to be collected from nature, boiled, and bottled. All in all, as time goes on, your chances of survival fade quickly. The skills system in this game is great though. It may be frustrating to grind out levels of carpentry by going house to house to disassemble furniture, but when you unlock those wooden barricades, ooh boy, we are building a fortress. And skills apply to almost anything you can think of. Mechanics, farming, tailoring, and they can all be learned just as you'd expect to learn them in real life, through trial and error, a lot of broken parts, and good reading materials. Pro tip, don't turn your nose up at a well-stocked bookstore. Oh, and while you're looking for a Carpentry for Dummies book, keep an eye out for supplies. And when you do, don't think in video game logic. Pretend like it's a real zombie apocalypse. If you were to look for screws, nails, and planks, where would you check? I'm sure your mind jumps to hardware store, but before you head off to the Home Depot, think about how many people would have been there as the virus first spread. A frantic mob scrambling for scraps, trying to secure their homes amongst the chaos. It's going to be packed to the brim with undead morons. So, where else could you look? If you use a little bit of intuition, it won't be hard to figure out the construction sites and backyard garden sheds are your next best bet at easily gathered construction materials. On the other hand, if you've really been looking for a reason to blow 5,000 rounds of ammo, you know what to do. Just don't say I didn't warn you when your gun jams. When it does though, you can use almost anything as a weapon. A screwdriver, a saucepan, a crowbar, or a shard of broken glass if you're feeling brave. When you eventually find yourself surrounded by zombies, it's natural to feel paranoid. But because this is the good old US of A, yeah, baby, just pop some beta blockers to ease those nerves. If you're good at scavenging, you'll soon learn that there's a cure for everything except for a zombie bite. If you spend too long indoors while you wait out a passing horde, just take some antidepressants to avoid depressing tendencies. If the horde is keeping you up at night, take some sleep meds. When the horde inevitably bursts down your doors, ease the pain inside and out with painkillers and bourbon. God bless American healthcare. Everything else in this game will come with time and experience, and I don't want to spoil all the fun, but I'll leave you with this. Always knock on a door if you don't know what's behind it. Stay away from big buildings unless you have the ammo. Always boil your water, and for God's sakes, have an escape plan, because you definitely aren't prepared for this shit. Godspeed, and welcome to